Hi, this is Asa, and welcome to my audio experience. Remember, the Bible said it could also be a lifestyle measurements. Food can fix so many things. Your lifestyle can, exercise can, the right thinking, in my opinion, is where it all starts. Got to get your thought life right. The way a person thinks determines who they are and what they become. So your thought life will determine your real life. Just remember that. Your thoughts become the life that you live. People think that's no big deal. It's a huge deal. That's how you turn out. You look at your thoughts, and I'll tell you where your life's going to be. Look at your goals, what you write down every single day. Hopefully you write your goals down on a regular basis. You got to put them in front of you all the time. If you don't, you'll end up somewhere where you don't even want to be. So you got to write those down. Goals are important. The way you think is important. The way you do things every single day, that matters. That's what lays out everything for your life. It's a big deal because our thoughts determine every single thing that we do. So on this show, we want to encourage you to get there. Let's get on the phones and talk to Elizabeth. Hi, Elizabeth.
I would like to know about possible causes of horizontal lines in your fingernails.
Okay. So the fingernail issue, it depends. Okay. The horizontal lines a lot of times can be an iron deficiency. But it also could be, if you've got kind of the horizontal ridges, the indentions, then that can be leading toward a heart-related condition. Also what's called clubbing of the nails, which is where they kind of get rounded. That is usually an indicator that something's going on with the heart. It's amazing because there's a whole kind of diagnostic set. The old school doctors, the family doctors way back in the day, like when I say way back in the day, it's kind of like Little House on the Prairie days. I did some family medicine in medical school in my clinicals, and I wanted to go out west, and I went out west to a training program for family medicine for a period of time, and it was really cool. I mean, it was I'm talking out in the middle of nowhere where you're the only doctor. I wanted to see what it's like to be the only doctor in like a 500-mile radius, like no hospitals. I mean, it was rural. I mean, big time, like in the sticks, as we say. It was amazing. I mean, the reason it was cool is because the diagnostic tools were so old school sometimes that these guys were using fingernails, the tongue, eyes, looking inside the eyes, not just for the regular things you do in medicine. I mean, they were finding all kinds of things. I learned a lot, needless to say. So the cool thing is about the fingernails is, it tells you a lot. So if you've got anything like that going on, I'd recommend a couple things to you for sure. So you want to get to your doctor and definitely get some testing done, blood test and further testing, right? So even if they consider the heart a potential, they can do some simple testing, right? They can run an EKG, they can do an echo, they can do whatever they need to do. They can run some labs. You want to get all that done because sometimes it just takes like a fingernail to say, hey, it's a warning sign that something's coming down the pipeline. And the one thing is you don't want to wait. You don't want to wait till things are bad. You don't want to wait till things are already broken down. You want to get way ahead of the game. So you get ahead of the game, and then you can build a good solid game plan around it. That's where you have to start. Okay, but the fingernail issue, it's usually iron or something to do with the heart typically. And just like, for example, if you got little puffy white spots, you ever seen the little white spots on your fingernails? It's a zinc deficiency, just about every single time. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Give us a call or go to the website. We're here for you each and every day, no matter what you're struggling with. There's a grandfather. This is a really cool story. There's a grandfather that plays a harp to help premature babies heal at the hospital. There's a place in Colorado called the Rocky Mountain Hospital for Children, and I've been by there. It's really, really a great place. So thanks to a doting grandfather who's performing many concerts to calm tiny babies who entered the world too early. So at the neonatal intensive care unit, baby Brianna hears a symphony of bells and beeps. This guy's pretty amazing. So he comes over there and he plays music for these babies. And there's actually something called music therapy. Okay, we've known that. music can do a host of things. It can get us all fired up. It can make us sad. But one thing it can do is it can calm. And the right melody and the right tunes for some, for people, it can really help. And for little bitty babies that are born prematurely, that can't really communicate, they can't really, they're just in a really fragile state, music can be extremely soothing to them. And that happens to babies in the womb, too. You can notice a difference in their brain activity and everything with their external environment. And we've known music can really help in a big way. So this grandfather comes in, this guy, amazing at what he does, comes in and plays. So James Excel is his name, plays a harp. And just hats off to the guy. It's amazing, right? What a gift that he's given those little babies, and really a gift he's given the hospital. And I'm sure they don't pay him. I'm sure he comes in there to volunteer his time. But it's a real gift when people do that sort of thing. It makes a huge impact. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Give us a call or go to the website. Kevin in Miami says, I have a recurring nerve pain following a root canal, and it comes and goes. It can be really painful, like an electric current. No one seems to know what I can do about it. So they tell me it's really never going to, that it will go away in time. It's been a long time. What can I do? A couple things you want to look at. Again, this is one of those things where you're dealing with a nerve. So when you're dealing with a nerve, in talking to a neurologist or working with someone like that, I would look into someone that does more holistic neurology and see if he can find a really great tool to work with that. Now, when a nerve gets irritated along those lines, you've got to think, what's causing the inflammation? Like, that's kind of the root of it, is to figure that out. You want to figure out what's causing the inflammation, what's the trigger for it, and then you can build a game plan around it. But first, you got to figure that out, because with something along these lines, you've got to think about what's causing it to break down. Okay, nutrients, certain things like omega-3 fatty acids could be the cause. You could not have enough of the myelin around the nerve, which is kind of that protective coating. So you have to look at all these different variables and see. But many times with a tooth like that, ask your doctor if they've even heard of using ionic silver. It's a different version of silver, and that can give some relief. And you also got to make sure that there's not some infection in there that's underlying that's not been looked at. So there's a host of things you can do. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Give us a call or go to the website. Coming up, we've got some anti-aging tips you don't want to miss. Plus, I want to get into tips on fat loss. What does it take to drop the belly fat? What does it take? What type of exercise does it really take to get in there and make a difference, to make an impact? Do you need to go for 2 hours at a time, or can you have a shorter version of that? I want to get into that, and when we come back, and also hang tight. We got some other tips as well. Just breathe with LiveO2. This is Dr. Asa telling you how oxygen can help you look and feel 20 years younger. You know the presence of oxygen is the absence of most health challenges. That's why we're talking about oxygen and LiveO2. Go get my free special report on oxygen and LiveO2 to increase energy, enable youthful lifestyle, and remove brain fog by visiting getfreeoxygen.com. That's getfreeoxygen.com to get my free special on how oxygen and LiveO2 can help you. Getfreeoxygen.com.
To find out more, connect with On Call Radio online at InShapeNetwork.com.
Lines are open, 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Let's kick off and go with Danielle. Hi, Danielle.
Muscle spasms. I'm a dialysis patient, and I have constant muscle spasms. Can you tell me what I do about it?
You really want to get it looked at, because when you're having dialysis, one of the key issues you face in that is that you can really deplete your minerals. And if your diet is not that good with the right kind of minerals that you're getting in, like magnesium, potassium, and all that, and again, you got to be careful with potassium. But one of the big issues, and the cramping usually happens because of that, because you have to be cautious with minerals Okay, so it's kind of a catch-22. But I would talk to your doctor about magnesium and just see at what levels they're comfortable with, okay? Like what foods they're okay with you eating, because that typically tends to be a big one when the cramping sets in, is magnesium. It's just a huge one. I mean, it's responsible for over 300 reactions in the body, and we're heavily deficient in it. We don't get enough. We need to get more of it, and we just don't. So I would look at that first and foremost and make sure that you're getting enough, and have them take a look and just look at the numbers overall. Because if not, again, certain levels have to be what they are because it's dialysis and it's kidney function. But then they can do some other things to help, but you want to get to the root of it. And 9 times out of 10, when you start cramping, it's a mineral. I mean, it's just the body's not getting something that it needs. Cramping is pretty much a gold standard that way. So I would definitely go to your nephrologist and ask them to maybe even run a blood test, do urine, something, whatever they're going to use to help figure out exactly what could be deficient, and then that'll give you a good game plan from there. Okay, 888-283-7272. And we can find someone in your area. And when you're looking at lifestyle providers, you want to find someone that can help you, someone that can really take you to the next level with your health and with your life. That's the key. So how do you know if your kids are ready for contacts? You ever think about that? You just wait till they start walking into things, or they can't see, or they can't read. So there's thoughts on that, and of course, many times kids have different variables. A lot of times you'll start noticing little things, and it's the little bitty things like when they're playing sports. You'll notice that maybe they can't see as well, or if you know if they start playing any kind of doing any kind of activity and they're squinting a lot, you just may notice little things. The best way to do this is to go in to get their regular eye exam. So here's a couple of things you can look at. Is your child responsible enough to wash their hands before touching their eyes and the contacts? So, again, if they're going to wear them, because the question is, do you wear contacts or do you get glasses? And at what age, that sort of thing. It really just depends on the child. It depends on the child. It depends on their responsibility level and those sorts of things. Because they can be, the contacts can be a little bit cumbersome and can be a little bit challenging. So here's some of the basics. First, you want to get the eye exam. Okay, I'm big on that. Get the eye exam done on an annual basis to make sure everything's where it needs to be and there's no breakdown. Then, of course, the optometrist can start guiding you down these paths. But here's your questions you want to ask yourself if you want to do contacts or glasses. Number one, is your child responsible enough to wash their hands before touching their eyes and contacts? Okay, because that's a big one. You can have all kinds of issues happen if they don't have, their hands aren't clean, if they bring dirt, whatnot, into the contact lens itself. Dirt can get trapped underneath the contact lens, cause all kinds of issues with the eye. It can actually scratch the eye. It can be a real challenge. So will they remember to take them out at night? One thing kind of a gold standard for most part is don't sleep in your contacts all the time, right? So are they responsible enough to place them at the right containers of the cleansing solution at night, and will they be able to put them in themselves? So those are some basics. Can you help them? Yeah, sure. But I always defer to the optometrist. Let them make that call and let them make that decision, because there's gold standards for kids. There's certain age brackets that the optometrist associations are comfortable with, but then you may have an exceptionally responsible child at an earlier age that could do that. So now we'll throw this in because I have to. So cod liver oil is kind of old school, right? Most of the time, if you have slight vision issues, you want to check your omega-3 fatty acid levels. Get those checked, get a blood test done, see what those numbers are, because if the omega-3 levels are low, and if you're dealing potentially with any kind of issue with the omegas and also vitamin A, which is why I like cod liver oil, because it's extremely high in vitamin A, then just by replenishing that, you can actually help improve vision. And I've seen it. I'm not just seeing it with kids. I've seen it with adults as well. So a lot of times there can be deficiencies that are driving these that could be the root cause, and you want to get down to the nitty-gritty with that first, and then build from there. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Give us a call or go to the website. Now, if you're looking for lifestyle providers, someone in your area that believes like we do, then we can help you find somebody. Remember, it's like this. Okay, sometimes you need someone to take you by the hand, just to walk with you, take you by the hand, and help you go from where you are to where you need to be. Because the lifestyle, the ultimate lifestyle is the medicine. No matter how you cut it. The medicine, regular medicine, if you take it for blood pressure or diabetes or cholesterol, it's fine. It'll manage it. All right? But it's not gonna get down to the root cause of it. It's not gonna help the body recover. It's just gonna help manage it. And that's fine and dandy, but what do you really want to do? If you want to get down to the root of it and rebuild the body and see the body do well, then you're going to have to go in a much different direction. I mean, the body, what it actually takes to get well is, of course, a great plan, but you got to have a really good nutrition plan, a great exercise and fitness plan, and then your mindset's got to be right, no matter what it is. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're 40 years young or 90 years young. Your mindset's going to play a role. And it really lays down the foundation for whatever you're dealing with. And this show, we would help you do that. That's the key. So there's high levels of lead in soil. I want to talk about that in just a minute when we come out of this break, because it can cause some major concerns for kids and their overall health for the long term. We'll be right back. Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to AsaRx.com and get your free book today.
To find out more, visit the show online, InShapeNetwork.com.
There in the hospital, they admitted her that they tested everything, CAT scan and all kind of blood work, and they couldn't find what's going on, and she still has numbness on the left hand and foot, and I want to get an idea what would be the problem for that.
Well, there could be a host of issues, and you remember when the extremities are the hands and the legs and all, the nerves that come out of different areas of the spine are what track down into those areas. So a lot of times we're looking at a hand, and then the hand goes weak or goes numb, or the leg goes weak or numb or whatever, and you think, okay, it's got to be the hand or it has to be the foot, right? But the reality is that the issue typically lies in the area. So like in the lower neck, for example, there's 7 little bones in the neck. And you get down toward the 5th, 6th, and 7th one, and the nerves that come from that area go down in through the shoulders, down into the arms, into the hands. And if you have weakness in those hands, then it's really coming from the neck. So you've got more of a neck issue than you have a hand issue. Okay? And then the other thing is for the legs, for example. Everybody thinks that neuropathy is where you have the pain and the numbness and tingling and all that in the feet. But you have to ask yourself the question, where is it coming from? Okay, it's coming from the lower back. Matter of fact, you have 5 big bones in the back, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, lumbar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you start getting around 4 and 5, those are the ones that the nerves that come out of that area impact the feet. Matter of fact, you've got nerves that come out around the sacrum, and they affect the feet as well. So it's really getting down to understanding that and figuring out the root of it and what's causing it. That's the biggest piece of the challenge in that regard. And I would look at that too, because one of the main issues that you have to take a look at and something along those lines is making sure that there's no permanent damage, because a lot of times it could just be pressure, it could just be irritation, but there's also can be nutritional deficiencies. For example, you could start developing a breakdown in the B vitamins, the breakdown in not getting enough of them. Say, for example, if she's not eating plenty of dark leafy greens, then she's probably not getting enough of the B vitamins. If she has other deficiencies going on in the body, then that could affect it as well. So a couple things to think about just along those lines. To get the body back into a position where it can really thrive and do well takes a little bit of work. And again, it's more finding out the deficiencies than anything else to get it to a good place. 888-283-7272. If you're looking for a lifestyle provider, someone in your area that believes the same way we do, all this nutrition and lifestyle-based care we talk about, then go to the website. You can easily find someone to get you the help that you need, regardless of what you're struggling with. We can help you. So our team members are standing by. They can help you at any point in time to find someone in your area. So in Philadelphia, they found high levels of lead in the soil, and it's really raising parents' concern, as it should be. So the Philadelphia Inquirer and Daily News tested more than 100 parks and playgrounds and the backyards of city river wards. Nearly 75% of the areas tested very hazardous to the levels of lead. There's not a day that goes by that Jana Curtis and her husband, Bill Pace, don't look at their 3-year-old daughter, Nolan, and wonder whether she'll have lifelong damage from lead. So she gets frustrated really easily, Curtis told CBS News and correspondent Jerica Duncan. In this case, it could be every 3-year-old, or it could be as a result of elevated lead. You just don't know. So they're looking into that. Almost 3 times the level of lead that the CDC says can cause a raise for concern. So, again, what do you do? Well, the Environmental Protection Agency went door to door and tested homes for lead, including the soil. And for the past several years, the EPA has been doing that type of testing in their neighborhood because the area was once home to at least 14 chemical plants that released this lead waste. So it's all in the soil. And so we found lots of sites with just giant heaping piles of dirt left uncovered. And Dr. Thomas Farley, who's Philadelphia's health commissioner, said the most important thing will be wetting material so that dust isn't generated when they demolish the houses. So, yeah, I mean, they've known that, right? So you've got all these chemical plants that release the toxins. I'm telling you, one of the main reasons that we get sick, is the toxins in the environment. I'm a firm believer that that is the case. So the toxins that we have in the environment, plus emotional toxicity, CDC has come out and said all of that is the root cause. And that can start to trigger. I mean, you still have to have really good nutrition. You still have to have a great exercise plan. You still have to have a really good thought life. You have to have all that intact. But a lot of this other stuff can really create or put the nail in the coffin and make it very challenging for you to do really well. And so to get your health back and to get your health into a good place really, really depends on you making the good choices. And on this show, we want to do that. And in a place like that, right? I mean, what do you do when your house is on soil that has been by chemical plants? I mean, do you move? Maybe. If it's important enough to you, you will. And that's why there's certain areas in the country, no one likes to talk about it, but near these chemical plants and all that, people have high levels of cancer. You get kids dying of cancer at age 20. How does that even happen? So enough toxins are around, and it can create an issue. So you definitely want to make sure that that's on the forefront of whatever you're doing or whatever you're dealing with. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Give us a call or go to the website. Let's go to Mark. Hi, Mark.
I've recently read about how vaccinations could make people predisposed to obesity, and that's really what I wanted to ask about, if you knew anything. Because I know vaccinations in itself has been a hot topic.
Yeah, it is. It's a real hot topic, and again, it's one of those issues that it's personal. I mean, it goes both ways. I mean, are they beneficial? Yeah, they are beneficial. Are they necessary for everybody? I think you just have to do the research yourself and realize that there's been all kinds of studies done, right, to prove that they are or they wouldn't be here. Everybody has their opinion about it. And Some people think it's the best thing for their kids, and some people think it's not. Some people think it's good to do. Some people think it's not. So I think you have to come to a place where you make your decision for what you want for yourself, your kids, and your family. And that's what it comes down to. And that's all the way around with vaccines. It's become a very sensitive topic. And I think I always tell people just do the research, because I want more than anything. And this is with anything with your health, not just vaccines. I mean, it's with, if you had to have surgery, if you had to take a medication, you want to do the research. I'm not a big fan. At least have some kind of research that you've done for big decisions. And I would consider that a big decision. I would. I think surgery, big decision. Getting on a medication when they say you got to take the rest of your life, big decision, right? You want to be, when I say you also want to respect the doctors, because they know the research, and they've been in clinical practice for a long time, right? And they've seen case after case after case after case, and understand how effective something is. So you also want to listen to that too. And you have to weigh in on all that and then make the best decision that you can. I think that's the best way to go, especially with those. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Give us a call or go to the website. We're here for you each and every day, taking you from where you are in your current state of health to where you need to be. That's what it's all about. It is. And if you haven't seen our health resort, you should check it out. Go to the website. You can find it there. We've got team members that can help you. Come down near Daytona Beach, Florida, and you come stay with us at a beautiful 5-star resort for about 3 to 4 days. And we've got a whole system laid out. And we do open time for this. It's not all the time, so there's time for you to come. You got to stay on top of the website. We'll send you emails about it. But we walk you through an entire system for changing your lifestyle. We help people with diabetes, with high cholesterol, with high blood pressure, obesity. They're overweight. You need a new plan, right? You need somebody to walk through that process with you. Then we can help you do that and really get to a place where you can get your health back. That is what it's all about. And if you want to check more information about that, just let us know. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Dana in Minnesota said, I have a friend that's having thyroid issues, and the doctor found a nodule. So what can I do? Well, here's the thing. When there's a nodule, you want to get it checked out, or the person wants to get it checked out, no doubt. You want to find out exactly what it could be, because you always want to rule out. And in medicine, just like anything else, you think worst first, you rule that out, and then you're good to go, right? Then you can come up with a natural game plan to build on top of that. But with something like this, with thyroid conditions, typically when there's a growth, the body's not getting enough iodine. And now that is not in the medical literature. That's more of an alternative thought. But iodine's the number one trace mineral for the thyroid. And if it's not getting everything it needs, then it's not going to work the way it needs to. And we don't have iodine in our diet anymore. A little bit in eggs, a little bit in salt, but just not at the level that we really need. So that's the challenge in itself, is to really have enough of this vital nutrient that you need. So there's some testing you can do. There's your urine test that's amazing that will show you the levels of iodine in your body, and then you can kind of build from there. But you got to remember, the Japanese take in 13.9 milligrams every single day of iodine. We don't even get 450 micrograms. We'll be right back. Just breathe with LiveO2. This is Dr. Asa telling you how oxygen can help you look and feel 20 years younger. You know the presence of oxygen is the absence of most health challenges. That's why we're talking about oxygen and LiveO2. Go get my free special report on oxygen and LiveO2 to increase energy, enable youthful lifestyle, and remove brain fog by visiting getfreeoxygen.com. That's getfreeoxygen.com to get my free special on how oxygen and LiveO2 can help you. Getfreeoxygen.com.
Connect with On Call Radio and watch On Call TV at InShape Network.
Brand new choices each day to take you where you need to be. That is the absolute key. We want to see you do well. And to do well, you have to do several things. You've got to, number one, have a great nutrition plan. You've got to have a great thought life, and you've got to have a great exercise plan. I'm telling you, those three are your keys to have amazing health. That's the deal. 888-283-7272. Let's get on the phones and go to Tim. Hi, Tim.
I'm interested in that flush for the gallbladder.
All right, so the gallbladder itself, and any type of, there's a natural flush been used for a long time, and you basically use apple juice, freshly squeezed apple juice, and it's an old naturopathic type remedy, and basically it's in my book, but it's in online. If you go to our website, it's there too. But yeah, it's pretty simple. I mean, you take freshly squeezed apple juice, you can actually juice them or put them in a blender or whatever. It's half that, half water, distilled water. Drink about a gallon of that a day. You don't eat any food throughout the day. You just pretty much drink the apple juice all day long, gallon of it. Keeps blood sugar fairly stable, and you get plenty of hydration. You do that for 3 days. On the evening of the third night, they say that the naturopathic physicians have kind of touted for a long time that you do a concoction of freshly squeezed lemon juice and olive oil, and you drink it down the hatch right before bed. And what it does, there's actually some merit to it. And what it does, it actually will get in and cause cholecystokinin to be secreted, which is a hormone that causes the gallbladder to kind of contract. And it causes these contractions. And when these contractions start, then it starts to push the sludge out. It starts to get all the sludge out of the system and starts to push all that out, and it can really make a big difference. So that's the big key that you have to look at is to get a good game plan overall to do that. So some people try it if they've got what they call, the doctors will do ultrasound and say they've got sludge in the gallbladder, and sometimes that can be helpful. You know, it's not a guarantee, and many doctors are quick to take the gallbladder out, and I get that, but I don't like seeing it come out unless, I mean, the thoughts are, unless there's a major blockage, then you should do everything you can to keep it in. So that's one of the big keys. But again, always go with what your doctor's telling you. That's my personal opinion for it. But the flush it's been around forever. It's not medically proven at all. There's no medical anything. There's no evidence to it at all. But some people like to try the alternative methods, and it's been around forever, and people have success with it. So it's just not some kind of evidence-based deal that most doctors would recommend. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Lines are open. Give us a call. There's gene therapy. First of all, genetic therapy has really come a long way, and it's growing by leaps and bounds. People are getting amazing results with it. So gene therapy is helping boys now with a rare nerve disease. If you saw the show or movie Lorenzo's Oil, so in this field, 15 of the 17 boys treated in the study had no major disability 2 years later. So there's an experimental treatment deemed to help boys with inherited nerve disease featured in that movie. But they're saying with this treatment, with gene therapy, that most of it went away. Dr. David Williams of Boston Children's Hospital. So the news is bittersweet for Paul and Liliana Rojas, a couple from Dover Plains, New York. 2 sons had the disease. Brian, 7, received the treatment. Brandon, 10, didn't. Brandon was too far along in his disease to qualify for the study, his father said. Brian was not. Thanks to Brandon, he was diagnosed early in time to be helped. So pretty amazing at the results. So the gene therapy tested was a way for boys to serve in their own cell donors. The doctors removed some of the patient's blood stem cells, modified them in a lab to carry the healthy gene, and then gave them back intravenously. And they've seen amazing results. What's interesting in that whole piece right there are the stem cells. I got to tell you that stem cell therapy has really come on board and really come a long way and is making a huge impact. Stem cell therapy it's phenomenal at what it can do. And people are getting amazing results, whether it's COPD or diabetes. They're for the joints and connective tissue, like if you have a knee issue, you're facing knee replacement, the stem cells can go in and rebuild the cartilage. If you're facing degenerative disc disease, the stem cells can go in and rebuild the tissue. So it's really a big deal. And it's amazing at how that whole thing works. It really is. So I would look into stem cell therapy if you're even remotely considering surgery of any kind, or if you've got degenerative issues in the body at all. COPD is getting help with it. I mean, it's amazing at just overall conditions that are getting help with stem cell therapy. And this gene therapy that they're talking about, they utilize stem cells. It's because that's the regenerative portion of our cells that can come from the adipose tissue. It can come from the fat cells of our body. You can also use donated amniotic fluid from the cord of mothers that are these baby, high-potency stem cells that just give amazing results, and people are getting tremendous benefits from it. So there's multiple ways to do it, and you just have to get in and figure that out. But it is amazing how that works. It is. And the stem cells, it's called regenerative medicine. That's kind of the new field. Amazing what's going on with that, with what people are getting. So the two key words with stem cell therapy, and if you need help with that, get in touch with our office. Our team members can help you walk through that and understand and get some more educational materials on it. Puts another hour in the charts. I want to thank our producer, DJ Allen, John Garrison, our engineer, and the rest of the team. Go tell one person something you learned on the show. Together, we can transform the health of our friends, our families, and our communities. You're listening to the show that helps you get well, stay well, and live well.
Did you know you could listen to the AsaRx audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
This episode is over, but check episode notes for links to products and services you've heard about on this episode. Thanks for listening and subscribing. Please share the AsaRx audio experience with others and stay in touch by giving us your comment or review.